What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday to you all. We got a lot of stuff to go over today. There's a bunch of events going on. We also have CVC going on tomorrow. Make sure, quick note here, make sure you guys do not pull any of your soul stones here if you guys are participating in this awakening boost event until CVC, obviously, for some quick points there. Obviously, keep in mind that your opposing clan will be up to that strategy as well, so you guys might be facing some higher point totals. But let's jump into some news from Plarium today. So first of all, we got some progressive boosts that are going to be happening. So here are the news right here in the description above me. So first, it's going to be on Tuesday. There's going to be one progressive event happening, and it's going to be for Gaeth, Trueheart, Trueth, or the Truth Shield. Sorry, that was really bad. But we have Gaeth here. I did a showcase on her when she was first released. She's actually a pretty good extender. Obviously, 3-turn cooldown. She brings a lot of self buffs as well. Her A1 has this like increase. Has this ignore defense second hit. She doesn't hit super hard from what I found. I gave her pretty optimal conditions with like 10 buffs on champions against Hydra and gave her damage gear, my best defense based damage gear, and she just didn't hit super hard, so I wouldn't focus too much on her overall damage, but she does do pretty good for the extension here. After that, we have White Queen Narcisse, or White Queen, sorry, Ancora. Fusion champion. She's actually pretty good on her own. She has the reset A1. It's only a 50% chance, but it's still a good A1. She brings a cleanse. She brings a really underrated single target, kind of like a almost instant turn revive. And then the cooldown reset is actually really good as well. So when you face her and her partner, White King, you have to be careful about killing the White King because she can bring him back and then he can have the nuke ready again. She's actually really just a solid champion by herself, so if you miss the fusion, she might be worth something. She's also not a void, so you don't have to spend void shards to get her, which is pretty cool. After that, we have Pytheon. So Pytheon being one of the super old, like he's probably older now. He's over a year and a half old now, but when he was first released, he was like incredibly hyped up for a fusion champion. Of course, he's still very, very good. A1 double heal, double hit, double heal. A2 big team cleanse and heal as well, and then big team revive with the strengthen on top. Great passive for extra damage mitigation. Just a good champ overall. Great base stats, of course. So he's good, but he's old fusion. You might have him, you might not. If you don't, then he's a good carry if you pick him up. Afterwards, we have Green Warden Ruark, and he's from the Sylvan Watchers. So Ruark here. I did a showcase on him in some areas where he's actually really, really good. Mainly his A1. His A1 just transferred all debuffs back to the enemy, and you use him in Dragon Hard. So when Dragon lays down the poisons on you, he can just A1 all the poisons right back at him. He's very good. He's also good in some of the Centrano stages where he is available against the dragon. So you can just use him to make easy work of the dragon. After that, for the voids, we got Mama. We got Big Mama here with the Ursuga. She's, obviously mega tank here. She brings a passive, which is like a ally protection. She brings ally protection and strengthen, and then she has some damage reducing, and it's kind of like crowd controlling skills. So she's good for general support. If you pull her, she's good to just kind of carry your team a little bit. Falling off the arena meta, but it can still be used, obviously. After that, we have the real prize. We have the second half of the tag team Void duel, which is Marichka. Marichka here. I would love a Marichka, honestly, just because I do have Taras. She's still used heavily in like arena defense, classic arena defense. Also just very good general carry champion. If you have her early, she's an insane carry. Speed in all battles, the best speed in all battles. A1 ally attack. Cleanse here. Big ass heal, actually. It's a pretty big heal. 40% heal. Cleanse here. It has the shield and strengthen. And then her passive, which is just bonkers and hard to deal with for most people. First, you have the Bonkers passive, which is the revive when she dies that doesn't have a cooldown, which is ridiculous. And then her active effect, which is the place block damage when she gets bomb, poison, or HP burn. It's just so insanely strong. Just a great champion. So if you get her, congratulations. On day 2, we have, what do we got? We got the greatest fusion of all time, probably. We have Mr. Nutman here, Nutman. So we got him with the progressive going on. Keep in mind these chances are not super great. Even if you have him at 15x, it's roughly about 7.5% chance if you pull a legendary, which is only 0.5% chance of pulling a legendary from an ancient shard, for example, non-boosted rates. So it's going to be pretty difficult to get one champion, but he's the GOAT for sure. The triple max HP slam, one of the best champions in the game, let alone just fusions. After that, we have Lady Kimmy, good turn meter booster, brings the increased accuracy, can do some stuff with like lockouts, can do some stuff with bomb champions, increased speed, increased accuracy. Good as a speed booster in general, just for like arena as well. After that, we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie is still very good champion overall. She brings the team counterattack, big shields based on defense, passive that pushes back turn meter and gains turn meter. Depending, you do need accuracy for the pushback turn meter part. A1 decrease turn meter here. Great champion still. Good in lots and lots of areas. After that, we have Lysandra. Lysandra here, turn meter booster, big speed aura, all battles. Very good against a lot of different wave content. Good against Dark Fade, for example, as well, in Doom Tower. But yeah, just general good champion, good in arena. Still very, very insane turn meter champion. After that, for the voids, we're looking at Yumiko here. Yumiko, obviously one of the pieces for those insane Trunda teams. I chased her back in February, so that was like about 5 months ago for her last progressive event. But I don't think I'm going to go for it this time. I'm obviously not very close to Mercy, so not for me this time. But yeah, Yumiko, one of the best. Got the cooldown, reset, and then skill lockout. After that, we have the other void, which is not so good, but not bad. We have the metal Santa Claus guy here, Carolon the Ringer, a little bit of a turn meter guy as well, a decreased duration of enemy buffs. And then he has the AoE Hex, AoE Weaken, which is actually pretty good. I mean, on a 3-turn cooldown, it's actually pretty good. Hex and Weaken are useful for things like Hydra because both of these are pretty critical, but obviously Hex you can get from Curse Set, and Weaken, I mean, you can live without it, but obviously it's like a nice luxury debuff. After that, we have a 3-turn cooldown AoE freeze with a decreased turn meter. So it can be really, really good just for controlling waves. Also has some increased damage mechanics on his passive, but it's kind of like you freeze them, and then when they are frozen, they take less damage, but then he increases his damage when they're frozen. It's kind of like, it's not enough, right? Speed in all battles. Actually, sorry, speed in arena only. Sad times for him, but yeah, he's got some use, but not super sought after. All right, so those are the 2-day events for progressive that are happening during CVC. So if you guys are interested in pulling, those are it. I always recommend not to do it just because they are kind of baity. They're mainly for whales that have extra shards or are chasing a specific champion. So I wouldn't recommend going for any of those events, especially during non-boosted rates. So non-boosted rates here, very, very poor chances. And even with the 15x progressive, you're not looking at a very good rate at pulling one specific champion. But we also have the balance updates on a couple champions here. So let me bring up the details. All right, so here are the notes on Loriaca, Great Hoof. She's the only fusion that I've ever missed because I wanted to miss her. I purposely skipped her because I was kind of protesting, because I believe during the fusion, Plarium put out 3 summon events, and the third summon event was just like really nasty, and I was just like, you know what, this champion is not worth it. Like, why are we doing this for 3 summon events? during one fusion. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm done. I don't really want to do it. Of course, like the champion's not very good in her current form, so let's go over what they're doing, and maybe I'll regret it. I don't know. I haven't read the notes yet, so let's see what she says. So currently her A1 double hit has a 50% chance of stealing one random buff. All right, so we've seen champions like this, like Kantra. Kantra has something similar where she can steal buffs and on her A1. So what are they doing with her A1? So her A1 now fills champion's turn meter by 10% for each buff stolen. I mean, that's not good enough, right? So it should be just give her 10% turn meter on each hit. Why not? But yeah, so she requires the buff to be stolen, which is only 50% chance, which means it's only a 50% chance to gain turn meter. Which is, yeah, not really good enough. Like, it's better, but it's not really good enough, I think, to make her into anything relevant. Her A2 attacks all enemies have a 100% chance of placing 50% decreased resistance. And it fills the turn meter of this champion by 10% for each decreased resistance buff placed by this skill. So potentially 4 or 5, so potentially 50% turn meter. So what are they doing to this? So they're going to do decreased resistance and decreased accuracy, and then fills the champion's turn meter by each debuff placed. So potentially she could place like 8 to 10 debuffs, so she could be getting up to 100% turn meter, maybe more against like more waves, I guess. Maybe against like you know, you can do some crazy stuff maybe in like Spider, where there's so many enemies that you can place so many debuffs. So you can get a ton of turn meter, but why? Maybe she'll be insane against like Spider, for example, like regular Spider, we can, you know, regular or hard Spider. But I don't know. It's, yeah, she has potential to gain a ton of turn meter here. What is she going to do with that turn meter? We don't know yet. Let's see what else. Her Dance of War. So this is Dance of War. So places a block debuff on all allies for 2 turns. And a increase accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns, fills this turn meters of all allies by 20%. So now it's going to be a 3-turn block debuffs, increase accuracy, turn meter fill. Yeah, I don't know if I regret, you know, like her kit got better. This move seems interesting. Great Hoof Stampede. Decreased resistance isn't really super great, because usually you want decreased resistance on a champion with insane resistance, but that means that Great Hoof here needs insane accuracy to land decreased resistance. So yeah, it's, I don't know, it's kind of a not super great, but obviously giving her decreased accuracy also makes her a lot better. And then obviously the double dipping with the turn meter boosting can be pretty good. Maybe it can do something, but her kit got a lot better, but I wouldn't say it's like game breakingly good. All right, so up next, the next champion to get rebalanced here is Jin Juan. So Jin Juan and Loriaca are some of the worst champions in the game. They definitely deserve a good look at here. So right now we got Jin Juan. You definitely don't want to see this guy coming out of Void chart right now. So let's see if they gave him some justice and made him a little bit more usable. His A1 transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. Like we've seen Ruark be okay with his A1 to handle things like Hard Dragon, for example, transferring the poisons back. So I guess Jin Juan can kind of do that as well. Let's see what they're doing with him. They're giving him a 50% chance to stun as well on the A1. I mean, that's not bad. You got a stun and a transfer debuff? Sure, that's not bad. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Is A2 attacks one enemy, has 75% chance of increasing duration of debuffs on that one target. Okay, so they're changing it to a AoE, which is way better. And then they are increased the duration of all debuffs. Yep, on all enemies. Okay, that is a lot better. You go from single target to all enemies. So that's really, really good. And it also places block active skills and block buffs for 2 turns. That's actually really, really good. It is cooldown increased to 5 turns. So it's a 5 turn down to 3 turn. But it's an AoE block buff increase duration of debuffs. So it's a block active skill, block buffs. Can be used for Hydra. Can be used for Hydra. Is A1 not particularly good for Hydra, but he also keeps oh, he doesn't have this condition anymore. I mean, that's a lot better. Yeah, so he doesn't have these conditions anymore with this block active skill. So that's actually pretty huge. I mean, this A2 got a ton improved. Very good for wave control now with the block active skills. Can be usable for Hydra with the block buffs AoE. All right, lastly, his A3 goes from attacks all enemies twice. First hit has an 80% chance of placing decreased accuracy. Second hit has a placing decreased crit damage. Also places strengthen on this champion. 4-turn cooldown. Changes to first hit, remove all buffs from all enemies. Okay, so it's a strip. So it goes to a strip. Second hit is a place decreased accuracy and decreased crit damage for 2 turns. So instead of just decrease, so second hit, first hit. So first hit is a strip, and then you have the double debuff application on the second hit. So strip and then double debuffs, and then you still get strengthened on all allies now. I mean, yeah, these are pretty significant boosts for this champion. I mean, considering that his kit was so bad, so you go from like single target things, like single target buffs and single target attacks to AoE attacks and AoE buffs, and then also bringing the block buffs debuff as well into his kit. Makes him a little bit usable in a couple of different areas. No change to his passive. He's immune to a bunch of stuff. But yeah, he's definitely a lot more usable. I mean, you can definitely try to bring him out and give him a try in some areas. I think he's going to be at least kind of usable in more wave-based content now, since he does have obviously like a block active skills, so at least locks out some of the enemy waves. Block buffs can be very good, obviously, for Hydra. A1 stun can be useful as well for wave content. But is this somebody that I want to see out of a Void Shard still? Probably not. Probably not. He's probably not, still not going to be super relevant. Anyways, folks, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully you guys are getting ready for your CVC battles. Like I said, guys, I will be streaming CVC after it starts, so make sure you guys stop on by if you guys are around. We're just going to be hanging out. And yeah, appreciate your time as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.